All right, it looks good. This is the Old Tube Radio Network.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
Brought to you by RADIO. It was National Radio Day yesterday. All day, National Radio Day. Brought to you by RADIO and especially all the fine tube radio operators who for over the last 36 years have been taking time out of their Saturday evenings to jump in and say hello radio to the Old Tube Radio Network and display their collections for all to hear. And we will do that again tonight with the Old Tube Radio Network. Hello, my name is Dennis, Net Controller for the Old Tube Radio Network, a voluntary association of people coming together to promote the use and distribute information about the old tube radios, the classic 11-meter CB glow-in-the-dark radios from 1958 to about 1978 when they just stopped making them, but that doesn't put a damper on what we do because our collectors have a bevy, I don't know what you call it, shelves and shelves full of those tube radios, and we will be hearing from them tonight. We will start with our shortwave listeners on the direct-to-net roll call, and if you're listening, you're at 27085 channel 11 over the air. Otherwise, you might be at oldtuberadio.net on your Universal Media Net web, and I think that the video is up and running somewhere, and I've managed to put the link on the screen for all to see. So hello, and we will get started. Let me get on the shortwave listeners. Let me get 000 checked in. That's Mr. JT, who has had a busy day, as always, doing what he does and also running the old radio night. I think we have some audio from that, but I will play that just a little bit later so we can get everybody checked in. Let me say, let me pause. Are there any stations that need to get checked in so that they may continue to do things that they were doing? I'm listening for anybody that needs to get checked in now. Just throw out your SWL number, and if you need to run away, I will grab you. Okay, 0 and 21 is in. Also, 10 and 30 need to jump in and out because they've got some things going on. So, Dwayne and Chrissy, we will get you checked in. And also, Dennis, 96. So we'll make sure you get checked in as well because you're over on the other side. All right, here we go. SWL number 1, the virtual, the cosmic check-in for one of the guys that got this thing started ever so long ago, with the idea that real radios glow in the dark, and we should be talking about them. Just like this guy, SWL number 2, Mr. OBP, who is tonight 9 pounds, good modulation at Chestnut and Herndon. And what is the sunspot number 14? So we actually have an active sunspot. I think there were no sunspots. It was 0. But when you get one sunspot, it goes up to 11 or 12 or something like that. So one sunspot, the bands aren't that great. Maximum usable frequency around 20 meters tonight. We will check in on the HF bands at some point. Hope you're doing okay, Mr. OBP. Thanks for the items. SWL number 3. I've got a proxy check in for number 3 from the Facebook side. SWL 4. SWL 5. SWL 6. SWL 7.
SWL 7 checking in, no traffic.
Okay, somehow I'm under the impression that you would be away at the card table tonight, but either that or you brought the very powerful walkie-talkie. We're sounding good and we've got you checked in.
Oh, thank you.
Then we are going to SWL 10. Chrissy up in Idaho checking in on the video side. Over to SWL 13, Mr. Cobra. And I will refresh the comment page. Various ways to check in. Over the air, on the video side, on the streaming audio side, Facebook, which I will check. I do check, I should say. Over to SWL 14. And SWL 16. Where's my big list? Anoka, Minnesota. Up there in the front row, helping out with getting people set up in the chairs tonight, wherever you want to sit. See Charlie. He will make sure you get a, what do they say, the front row seat tonight. Over to SWL 17. SWL 18. Mr. KDA checked in on Facebook. SWL 19. Sometime when you're way up there in Belfast, Maine, even when you're not, or Derby, New York, you're a little hard to see, but not tonight. Chet is right here below the lighting with the cue cards tonight, making sure that all goes well, and I don't miss a thing. Or try not to miss a thing. Thanks for checking in. Over to SWL 20.
Yeah, number 20 here. Please check me in. 2954 and 135, and I'll have an item of interest tonight.
Items of interest are good. I like the sound of that radio. Almost sounds like it needs a little bit of 3-in-1 on the ping, but it's interesting. We will talk to you when we start glowing in the dark. You are checked in.
Beep, beep.
Okay, SWL 21, the guy that checked in is 00 Old Radio Night. I am going to see if we have some audio. We have some audio from the Old Radio Night tonight, where he was on the Realistic TRC 55.
I'm just working on this radio right here.
That's a TRC. Oh, wow, he's got it all open.
Messing with this old radio here. Listening to the locals at 7 dBs of noise.
1241. The clock says 1241. I know it's not 1241. All right, sounding good. The TRC 55. Happening just moments ago on Old Radio Night. Whoa. That is some loud audio. The on-the-air light goes on, and it gets very loud. Mr. JT on Old Radio Night. Check it out. Happens just before, a couple hours before the Old Tube Radio Network here. Get to the right picture. Over to SWL 22. SWL 23, Mr. 23 Skidoo with a check-in from email or something. I don't know. He's got a way of... Oh, he actually, I see, he handed his check-in tonight to Chet. He's holding up the little tag for me to see. How did he do that? He must have stopped by the studios and then took off. All right, 23, Mitch is checked in tonight. I guess you can do that. You can stop by the studio and give the little card to somebody, and they'll bring it to my attention. Over to SWL 24. SWL 25. I'm getting 25 checked in. I think he's performing tonight. He's out with the band, so doing some entertaining. Let's see, where are we going? Page 2. I got to flip the page over. SWL 27, Dwayne.
Top of page 2, number 27's checking in.
Wow, look at that. When you watch the video replay, key up again. Look at that S-meter reading.
All right. Let's check it out here. Number 27, checking the old S-meter reading.
All right, good 10 over. I don't know. What do you use for an antenna over there? Is it a 10-meter thing, or you just got a coat hanger in the back?
No, I got the A99 up there.
All right, sounds good here in Midtown. Another Midtown Fresno station. Thanks for jumping into the old Tube Radio Network tonight.
Roger, roger.
And SWL 28. Gary is on the video screen. He says, hello, everyone. 28's checking in. He's ready for the really big shoe. And so am I. With the classic radios, I never know what we're going to get. Who's the guy that said life is like the old Tube Radio Network? You never know what's going to check in. Also, I noticed one of my lights is out. My little fill light is out. So, who needs video when you got radio? Let me get you officially checked in there, Gary. To get you there, it is. That's you checked in. Over to SWL 29, we've got Loner checked in. SWL 30, Dwayne, Mr. RFI is checked in. SWL, oops, I clicked the wrong one. Let me check it on, my screen is jumping around here. Okay, 30 is in, 31. Let's see who is out listening tonight, if I can get the things to work. What happened here? Too many windows. Up in the high balcony tonight, enjoying... I think Albert and the gang have the popcorn machine and the barbecue going up there as well. Germantown, Wisconsin, Fresno, Auberry, Shinston, West Virginia. Hello, West Virginia. The unknown SWL, the person you see with the bag over the head and the rubber duck antenna. Dallas, Georgia, Fresno, Blackpool. Going up the pool from down the smoke below, as always. Getting up early. Getting up super early to join the old Tube Radio Network. We appreciate it. Squamish, BC, of course. We see you all up there doing your thing. Woodland Park, Colorado. We've got the big station. The big station is listening for some conditions on OTR. Moncks Corner, South Carolina. Hello to Hermosa Beach by way of Manhattan Beach. Canby, Oregon. Anoka, Minnesota. Oakland, California. Fish Camp, Belfast. Or Derby, New York, I should say. South Arkansas, Paul is also listening in. Over to SWL 32. SWL 33, Bozo Control, honking the proboscis. Getting everybody checked in here in the studios. Let's go over to SWL 34, Jimmy and the gang. And I think he's starting a new Facebook page. I got a note that I need to join something or go somewhere, and it looked interesting. So if I find out what that is or he stops by, we will talk about that a little bit. He always does good stuff and comes up with great pictures and information. Let's go over to SWL 35. That would be the ever-popular, always present from Cheyenne, Wyoming, Mr. Bill. Red Monkey Communications, up and running on the run. What's going on? Mr. Bill is checking in from cool Cheyenne, Wyoming. Heck, I don't even, what was it, 92 today, 95? It was cool here. I'm dressed up in the Sears Sucker suit, the official official wardrobe of the old Tube Radio Network. So you know it's got at least to be, I don't know, 90 degrees in here. It's cool. Let's go over to SWL 36. SWL 37.
SWL 37 here, and good evening, Dennis.
And good evening. Hope all is going well out there at the ranch, and we'll probably hear you a little bit later on the Tube Radio check-in.
There's a very good possibility of that.
All right. Well, I would enjoy that, and we've got a spot for you on the list.
Okay, now you mark it number 11.
Well, I hope we can get 11 radios. I think we have competition tonight. Is there some sporting event going on? And we don't have Fresno State football yet. Well, we'll see. We'll see how we do on the Tube radios. Thanks for checking in.
You bet, Dennis.
And I'm just looking at Albert. He's up there with the barbecue, and they're using the pool tonight for the log rolling lesson. I'm not even sure. Is there water in the pool? It would be really easy. Maybe that's why they're doing log rolling. Because there's no water. You can just roll it along the bottom. It works great. SWL 38. That's cheating, Albert. That's cheating, but it's okay. SWL 39. SWL 40, get 40 checked in. He was on earlier. Says he's working on getting the station back together. Right now sequestered in the underground control. Sounding good on your subterranean. He's got one of those, what do they do, a dirigible, no, submarine antennas. What do they do in a submarine for an antenna? That's what he's using. SWL 41, Road Dog 507, of course, from the Hudson Valley of New York. Saying hello, radio, and looking good here on the video tonight. The 2 international sideband 507. Oh, so that's why the 507. We got you checked in. SWL 42. Got a proxy for 42. SWL 43. And I got a check-in for Crazy Eddie. SWL 44. And 44 checked in. Up to North Fork, SWL 45.
Okay, sounded good tonight. 45.
All right, and likewise, hope you and Kelly are doing well, and we'll look for you when we start glowing in the dark.
Great, don't forget.
That takes us to SWL 46. I think I had 46 last night on the Ditch Banks net. I'll get him checked in. Over to SWL 47.
Good evening from Northwest Fresno in the Radio Lounge. This is SWL 47.
In the probably moderately warm, or is that moderately cool Radio Lounge tonight? You can see it's back to summer's gone. Now look at it, it's dark already. Gray line is gone. We've got you checked in with the X, the official X in the square.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it is still warm, and I think I'm going to go take a dip in the pool in a moment. Whoever it was, a few listeners ago that mentioned, getting on a log, whatever it is, log rolling. If you haven't done it, there was no better. Well, first of all, what is the term for that? Log rolling? When you get on the log and run around?
I guess, is there a Olympics event for that? I don't know. It used to be on Wide World of Sports, but yeah, it's one of those things. One of those lumberjack things, I guess.
Okay. Well, there was no, on the planet Earth, there was no better human that did that besides Steve Austin. And if you are in question on that, just go on YouTube and look up Steve Austin or $6 Million Man. Log rolling or whatever term it is, and you'll see visual proof that boy, if you went up against him on that thing, you were gonna lose for sure. Anyways, back to you.
Yeah, but he did it by video trickery, and Albert is probably the real deal. I mean, I don't have a camera out at the pool side over here, so I'm not sure how he does it. All right, 47, you are checked in. And duly noted. I want to say hello to the fine-tuned CB shop. Says one of these days I'll fire up my old Messenger 223. Oh, where's the what am I showing here? Look at this. I've got the 223. Is it on? Yeah. The 223 is fired up right here behind me. They're listening in, doing something. I'd love to hear the 223. Let's see, what are you? Southwest New Mexico, very good. Also, who else? 700 Weed Killers on top of the weekend. Saying hello to OTR and all the group tonight from Inglewood, Ohio. And Richard, 78, letting us know that the submarine antennas were almost a mile long. Okay, I knew they kind of drug a wire or something called a towed array. Towed. Not like a frog, although they're amphibious, I guess. It can be reeled in and out as needed. That's what I need. I need a towed array down the street here. Just a nice mile-long antenna. And bring it in as needed. SWL 48. We are directed net roll call. Hello, Sam. SWL 49.
Hey, a very good evening, Dennis. The 49er here along with Sweet Country Mama. Yeah, I hope everyone's doing well, and we very much appreciate the evening. You guys all have a great one. Thank you.
All right, sounding good on AM and Sweet Country Mama and 49ers. Sounding good tonight, or last night as well on sideband as well. We've got you checked in. Radio sounding good. SWL 50.
Live and direct, 10 miles from anywhere. 50 checking in.
Wherever you go, there you are. 10 miles from anywhere. Make a left turn in Albuquerque, and you will wind up at the SWL 50 QTH. Thank you, Mark. And I saw this guy on my video screen, so maybe you're having some receive issues, but if you want to give it a try, we are listening. SWL 51, hello, Dave. All right, he might have one. 305 Sanger is in. Let's go to SWL 52. SWL 53.
Hey, good evening, Dennis. 53. Bel Air the Legend on the east side of Fresno, checking in.
From mid-downtown to the far east side. You got to watch out for Bob. If he steps too far, he is long gone out of Fresno. But sounding good. We got you checked in.
Thank you, sir.
Page 3 is where we're going when I find it.
Break in there, Dennis.
Okay, I'm listening. The breaking station for OTR, we are listening over.
The break OTR, go ahead. Yeah, he's right on the edge of my receiver, Dennis.
Wow, all right. And you are up in the altitude. I did not hear anything, so I will be listening. I do quick key a little bit during the roll call to get through, but we will, if you hear him again, break on in, we'll try it.
Copy.
54 is in. SWL 55.
55, checking in. I need a proxy 65.
All right, 55 in, live and direct, sounded good in the Flatlands, and 65 will be checked in as well. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, I'm checking some stuff here. Why is it not showing me my screen? But I know who's next. SWL 56, just for kicks, over.
Well, good evening, Dennis and the net. 56. Yep, just for kicks.
All right, we got you checked in. I'm playing with the other radio here, trying to get it set up. You are sounding good, Phil. Thanks for checking in. And then we go to SWL 57, Brown Dog Audio. Lost my live stream page. There we go. Central Kentucky. They're probably doing fun stuff in Central Kentucky tonight. Let's go to SWL 58. And I will get I'll get a check-in for 58, who is probably watching, listening in a different time zone for sure. The instigator of the Ditch Banks sideband net ever so long ago. We got Jeremy checked in. Let's go to SWL 59. SWL 60.
Thank you, Dennis. Evening time to the fellows out there. Let's check in this base here. Old Big Jake's base, the 291, the DX 2527.
Okay, the 2527 will be checked in tonight. SWL 60. Joe's at the microphone, and the X is in the square. still trying to calibrate stuff here. Let's go over to SWL 61.
61, checking in, Dennis.
All right, Copenhagen, we've got you checked in on the Old Tube Radio Network. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, sir.
SWL 62. SWL 63. Shortwave listener 64. 65 is in. SWL 66. SWL 67 up to Canby, Oregon. I know I saw Bill in there earlier. Yeah, right up here in the front row. The orchestra pit. Is that where the orchestra is? I don't know. I don't know where they are, but they always sound good. Okay, we have to do it. Let me see if I can get what's happening in Canby, Oregon. I think the weather is sort of 67, just like it should. Clear with periodic clouds. What is a periodic cloud? What is the periodic tables? Isn't that the carbon, silver, oxygen? That's your periodic tables. But they have periodic clouds, so I hope that is not a problem there in Canby tonight. Thanks for checking in, Bill. Let's go over to SWL 68. SWL 69, Kenny in Tulsa, who is probably watching the replay. I will do the proverbial waving of the hand. I think that's the CB thing to do. Hello, Kenny. Hope all is well in Tulsa. Up to Morgan Canyon we go, SWL 70. SWL 71, Stan. And he is out there in Dallas, Georgia. Oh, Stan, I heard the K4H. I think it was Monday or Tuesday, and it was on 17 meters. And I was thinking 17 meters, they couldn't do that. But that's, I guess, contesting. But for special event station is not a contest. They were at 18,125. The signal was so-so, and I thought, well, I'm probably not going to be able to make a contact, but what I wanted to do, or what my intention was to record the audio. So I got everything set up, and they promptly faded away. It was, I don't even think I got exactly where they were at, but it was definitely the K4H special event station, which is still going on, and that's the only one that I heard so far. It was up on 17 meters this week, during the week, so we will keep checking that out. We got you checked in. Over to SWL 72.
72, checking in.
72, the ever-popular radio boy, beaconing across the airwaves here in Central California and everywhere else at oldtuberadio.net. Thanks for checking in. SWL 73. Shortwave listener 74. I've got a proxy for Ms. Jilly. SWL 75. Okay, for some reason my thing was busy there. Let's go to SWL 77.
Good evening, Dennis, and a big wave to all the listeners. 77 on the Tower of Power out of the Tower District, checking in, and just want to put a big wave to Fine Tune Radio and his partner in crime there, Mofo. I'm glad to see he's in there listening, and well, we appreciate everything you do for us, Dennis. Have a great night.
All right, we'll do. We'll be checking in the radios, the classic radios after the roll call. Great audio as always. And Yeah, Fine Tune Radio, Fine Tune CB shops listening in at 163 out of Southwest New Mexico tonight on the video site. Thanks for the check-in. Over to SWL 78 from wild, wonderful Wildemar tonight, or as he says, nice, cool, and breezy Wildemar. We've got you checked in, Richard, out there in the Southland of California. Let's go to SWL 79. I heard Philip earlier. I'll get him checked in. He may jump in at any moment. Over to SWL 80.
I'm checking in.
He's checking in. He's got that really long mic cord. You'd have to key it up. It takes a long time once you press the push to talk for those electrons to get to the radio. You are checked in. Over.
Thank you, sir.
SWL 80. And you know what? My page is stuck. My other page that I need. Let me refresh that again and see if it comes up correctly, because that has all my information that I need. So it should be here. Let's go over to SWL 81. Steve, chatting with Steve earlier this week. He says all is going well. Still has some radios at the QTH. I don't think he's got them set up, but you just never know. Might put up an antenna and point things out to the west here. Over to SWL 82.
82, checking in from the Ditch Banks of Iowa. Good evening, and thanks for doing the net tonight, and sounding good.
All right, likewise, sounding good from... Oh, if there's your replay. Wait a minute.
Tonight, and sounding good.
All right, that was an unintentional replay, but it just happened to do that. Speaking about unintentional, if you are unintentionally on your radio here on Friday evenings, 8 p.m. Pacific time, jump up to 36 lower sideband and check in. If you don't already have a check-in thing there, check in during the visitors section on the Ditchbanks sideband net on 27.365, a lower sideband. Everyone is welcome.
That is right. So thanks for checking in here, and thanks for checking in there, and have a good night.
So far, so good. We do expect to be checking in and hear some radios tonight on the old tube radio network. Now my screen is back where it should be.
27.0850 TR channel 11.
All right, Bob and Steve, as always, helping us out, keeping things lively, and keeping the studios up and running for the old tube radio network. CQ contest number 77. There was a contest going on. I thought I heard... Let me bring the audio. I thought I heard Florida. So is there a Florida QSL going on? I'm scanning 20 meters. I think the band is... There you go. There's a contester there.
Okay, thanks, Terry. Tennessee, Georgia. Whiskey Charlie 8, Mr. Ocean America. Whiskey Charlie 8, Voice of America, Mark in Hawaii. Georgia, Mike in Ohio. Good luck. Thanks, Mike, Georgia.
All right. Hey, there they are in Ohio. It's working good. The Jingle Singers have added many great ideas for the pool. Is log rolling one of them? Yeah, but we have Albert practicing the log rolling in there right now. I think he's being careful not to damage anything. They are ready, and they are ready at the mics tonight. We will be hearing from the Jingle Singers tonight shortly. The forms are here for the concrete. which must be set up. Eddie and the guys want to use the red limo to hit all the hot spots in Fresno. And there's a big capital N, capital O. And I think I agree with that, because there's only about 2 hot spots in Fresno, so it wouldn't take very long. And this is one of them on Saturday nights. The old Tube Radio Network green room is one of the hot spots. It shows up on one of those Yelp things. But that is a wise decision. At the bar tonight from Fresno's finest, the Limelight. I have been to the Limelight. It is just up the road a piece on, I think it's up on Shaw Avenue still. Limelight at 1054. I should read the script. At 1054 West Shaw Avenue, surf and turf, and the wine is on Bob and Steve. Well, thanks. Oh, it says see more. I knew there had to be more to this. Join us after the net, and don't forget to feed the fish, and we will not. Bob and Steve, of course, always taking care of us here on the old Tube Radio Network. And the limo is actually, the limo is available. So if you're out in the green room, jump in there, and they can drive around the park. They've got the windows down. No need for air conditioning. It's actually very nice outside. So thanks for that, and we'll get back to the regular net.
27.085 OTR, channel 11.
Over to SWL 83.
Break OTR.
Hey, the break OTR. Go ahead, over.
Hey, Dennis. 70 requesting a late check-in, please.
70, may head up there, put the X in the square, and your check-in is no longer late. Over.
Roger. I am whole again. Thank you.
All right, sounding good on AM. Thanks for checking in. And let's see. Okay, I see Tony checked in. You know, we don't have the Echo link up tonight. I actually do have my Echo link up, but it's not up on the link. So we're down an Echo link, unless you went to me direct, but that would be hard for me to see. But anyway, I'll get you checked in. We'll give the Echo linkers a rest tonight. 83, didn't see Epimetheus. Cornbread is in, and he's getting the green room. He's getting the green room singer shakes. I get the shakes when I see them hovering next to the ribbon microphone. I get those kind of shakes, more than stage fright. No, they will be here, so don't worry. Roll call. We got to get going. Oh, SWL 84. And I had the pleasure of talking to Jerry on 40 meters. I'm getting him a big X in the square. Where was I talking? I was on 40 meters the other night, and Jerry broke in and said hello, and sounded pretty good. Said he's trying to work on getting some of the other radios up at the station. So that is a good thing. And I will get the rest of the gang checked in. 86, 87, and 88 checked in. Mountain Maid, Tandy Girl, and Snowy Owl. Over to SWL 89. SWL 90. Got a proxy check-in for 90. And SWL 91. And that is Felix. He was first one on the video tonight, making sure that I had all my buttons and my I's dotted and my T's crossed. And Felix has got the check mark. I wish I could transport that. He's got that big green, and that's actually the same color. On my list here that you can't see that's in front of me on the computer screen, it is also green. When someone checks in, it's red, and when they are present, it turns green. So, Felix, you did it again. You've got it exactly correct. Let's go over to SWL 92. SWL 93. Shortwave listener 95. Warthog 95, checking in from stormy Orlando. All right. Well, I heard I thought it was a Florida QSO party, but maybe you just give out where you're at. I don't know what that contest is that's going on, but it seemed like everybody was from everywhere. And Orlando, stormy Orlando is checked in. Making some notes here. SWL 96, Dennis, prune picker out there in Kerman, checked in early, and we've got you checked in, Dennis, if you're listening or you watch the playback. Over to shortwave listener 97, Boston 97.
Break OTR.
And the break OTR. Go ahead, over.
Evening time, Dennis. Evening time, everybody else on the old net. 650 checking in early. I'm beat down. Been working on my truck all day for the last 2 days. I'm going to finish it tomorrow. But anyway, can you check me in early? And Jim 195 up on the mountain, if you can hear Mechanic down here, 650, I'm waving a great big hand.
All right, so no doubt he can hear you. Good luck on finishing the vehicle tomorrow, and we've got you checked in. Thanks for stopping by the Old Tube Radio Network.
Jim, for everybody, have what's left of a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Direct net roll call. Did I say that we will be checking in the glow-in-the-dark tube radios coming up right after the roll call tonight? Let's see. And what is that? There's a bright... Oh, you know what it is? That's Albert. Albert is up in the balcony. He's shining the light up to get my attention. It looks like, okay, yeah, he's got the barbecue going up there as well. So if you can't make it down to the green room, hang up in the balcony, Albert and the Squamish boys will get you taken care of. Let's go to SWL 98.
Hey, Dennis, I talked to Tracy earlier today. He said he wasn't going to be able to get on the radio this evening. Let's give him a proxy.
I can do that, but the X and the... Actually, you know, I think... Was he in last night on Ditchbanks? I think I might have heard him on Ditchbanks. We'll put a big X in the square for Tracy. Thanks.
Click.
Over to SWL 99. And, all right, you know, we're going to try... Let's try the Echo Link. Looks like Tony found my node, so I want to see if I have the audio up. I haven't even checked Echo Link tonight, so we'll see how it's working, or if it's working. KB6GFD, hello. Tony, KD4BAO. Over.
Hey Dennis, how are you tonight? Please check in SWL 100 KD4BAO.
All right, will do. You were sounding good on the Echo Link, and I even heard myself, so I know things are working. Thanks for finding the link. A little bit difficult tonight, but there you go. Hope all is going well out there in McClellanville, South Carolina. 73 KB6GFD. And Tony is in on the Echo Link. Let's go up to SWL 103. SWL 109. Shortwave listener 110. SWL 111. Checked in earlier. Robert was sounding good on the crossband. Also beaconing in from Reelytown on the AM side as well. And jumping into the mix, John, Juliet Whiskey. Hello, John. Iowa's finally here. 73 from KJG4755 from KEO8492. I was looking for my KEO8492 license. It is probably tucked away somewhere because that was a long time ago. Let's go over to SWL 113. SWL 114. I think he had to get a proxy check-in last night on ditch banks. So we got Rickshaw in up to SWL 128. John is checking in tonight out there in Fairfax, Virginia. And John says he still has his paper license. I'm sure I probably have mine. I wouldn't have thrown it away, but it's one of those things where it was so long ago. You know, you move out of the house and your parents say, "Here's your stuff. Here's all your crap in a box. Take it." So it's probably in that box of stuff. 128. Where are we going? SWL 131. And who just King Duckford. King Duckford is in tonight, saying hello, everyone. Let's go over to SWL 133. I will do just that. I will check in 133 from Northwest Fresno, beaconing into the old Tube Radio Network control tonight. Thanks, Dave. And I've been asked to check in 135 Mr. Green Arrow, which I will do. A proxy check-in for SWL 137 Phantom. This station's sounding good on the sideband net. Let's see if he's out here on AM. Hello, Tony, SWL 145.
Well, good evening, Dennis, and all the other patient people. Thanks to PG&E, we get to spend all day with no power up here at Corsical today. 145 checking in. Back to you, Dennis. Thank you for running the net.
Oh, man, what did we used to say in the 70s? That is a bummer. So I wonder what generated that, if it was a fire-related thing where they turned stuff off to be safe, or it was just maintenance, or an errant squirrel chewing through stuff. Well, it sounds like the power... Is the power back on, or are you running on batteries? Over.
Yeah, it's back on. Originally, they said 5 o'clock, and then they said 2 o'clock tonight, but it popped back on about 6 o'clock tonight. Roger?
Okay, just in time, just in the nick of time. All right, well, it's sounding good. And sounds like it didn't affect the radios at all. So thanks for checking in. John says out there in... we just worked Pakistan, 20-meter FT8. 28 to go. Is Pakistan one of the DXCCs or something? Wait a minute. Let me... I know, I don't want to...
7 Tango.
All right, let me see. I might not be able to hear it. I'm going to dial down. Where's the frequency? I think it's here, right? Oh, there it is. Oh, man, it's going strong. I think that's the FT8s. That's a little FT8s. Beaconing. Sounds like a small animal. Beaconing, and one of those moments ago was John... contacting Pakistan on his amateur radio. All right. Let's turn that down. Over to SWL 147. And you know there are probably people hooking up their FT8 to 11 meters. We used to do CW. We used to do code practice on one of the frequencies here back 30 years ago when we were getting our licenses. 147. Neil is here somewhere talking in. Oh, Kakalaki is checking in. Hot weather and radio's quiet. Same as last week. So thank you, JGQ. Neil checking in from Fayetteville. Kakalaki. Let's go a little bit closer to home. SWL 188.
Good evening time, Dennis. Good evening time to all the SWLs. 188 Snowbeast checking in.
All right, Snowbeast sounding good. And a station that, what do we say, can point the house. If he points the house at you, you're going to hear him, no matter whether you're in Pakistan or Kakalaki or just down the road here in Midtown. Thanks for checking in. Okay, where are we going? SWL 195, Mr. Jim, Course Gold Starliner. Oh, well, maybe he's not listening. I will put a proxy in for Jim. I bet he will be in shortly. Or he might have been one of those without power up in Corscold. So hopefully he has power. We'll find out. It's hard to be without power for 20 minutes, let alone 20 hours. And up to the hill, where the lights are twinkling and the moon is probably still orange, SWL 226.
Well, good evening, Dennis, and everyone on the old tube radio network, SWL 226 up on the hill. It's not quite as smoky as it was last night, so the moon's not as red as it was, or should I say orange. And can we make an edit on the roll call?
I'm getting my edit pen ready for the roll call over.
Okay, let's the handle all the way back from the 80s, which used to be three-wheeler, has now changed. The CB handle is actually Shockwave now.
Okay, yeah, I bet if I go to some of the SWL sheets that we wrote by hand. So I'm writing it by hand once again. Everything old is new again. I've inserted the Shockwave item, and the three-wheeler has served us well these past 35 years over.
Roger. And it's absolutely amazing that OTR has been on the air that long. I mean, literally, my kids were little when I first started doing this, and now they're grown up and have their own kids. So hats off to everybody, you and everybody that's kept OTR going, Dennis.
All right. Well, I'm just one of the dudes that sits in the chair, and then we have people like yourself who take the time to do extra work to drive up to be heard, our collectors that take room out of their house when they could have something else, right, and fill it full of radios, and then remember on Saturday to sneak away. Or maybe they're not sneaking away. Maybe they're ready for it and check in. And, of course, as always, the people like me that enjoy the whole thing, the shortwave listeners hanging on. And now we're worldwide, so we've got people from everywhere, hopefully enjoying it like we have been for the last 35 years, and maybe even doing the same thing themselves locally to keep Citizen Band Radio on the air and just kind of promote it the way it used to be. Anyway, thanks Jeff, for checking in.
You bet, Dennis, and a tip of the hat to you. Have a great evening.
And anybody else wanting to check in before I reconfigure the entire studio for the tube radios? All right, I see Cornbread is in. Hello, Levon is checking in from Hudson Valley, New York. Anybody else joining us before I jump out here? Temecula up in the balcony, enjoying the happenings up there. Is it Bottineau, North Dakota? My mouse is not working here. What's going on? Dakota College of Bottineau. Quick facts. Bottineau. I'm saying it wrong. I know I am. Is a city in, okay, I have to say it again, Bottineau County, North Dakota, United States. It's a county seat of Bottineau County and is located just over 10 miles south of the Canada-United States border. The city's population was 2,211 on the 2010 census. Come on, we've had the census. They should update. The city is home to Dakota College of Bottineau. And send me an email. Tell that guy from California how to pronounce that name. Anyway, welcome to the old tube. And there's a Dairy Queen. Hanging out at the Dairy Queen there on 5. All right, we will talk to you in a little bit. Old Tube Radio will be back with your radio check-ins. and you are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
The Old Tube Radio Network. Hello, radio. Checking the audio on the REA modulation meter. I think the thing to do is try and keep your negative peaks around 95. We're doing okay there. An occasional peak at 125. Average audio around 98 to 100%. So it says. Now, whether that's the case or not, I don't know. Heading back to the studio. The pocket protector is in and ready. And tonight, I'm remembering compliments of D&J radio cells. This is our pen of the evening. Our gang at D&J Radio Sales at 228 North Merriman at is it Thief River Falls, Minnesota, in the 218 area code. Looking good on the pocket protector tonight. So, what am I going to say? I've signed into the Old Tube Radio Network list, radios, and we have plenty of spaces for your radio to check in and OTR's listening. And Tracy says, I owe you an apology. Oh, your meter's not out of focus. It was his tablet. Well, let's go to the meter here just before. There it is. It is wimpy at best. If you saw this camera. So, yeah, you know, it actually really is kind of out of focus at the ends, but maybe in the center. It's a pain to set up, too. But it's an added feature, a copyrighted feature of the Old Tube Radio Network. It's the kind of wacky S meter. It's not even a good S meter at that. OTR standing by and listening for your radio check-ins.
45.
And as Tony says, it's a heavy metal time, and at 9:01 Pacific Daylight Time, we are ready to go. Hello, Paul. If you can hear me, take a transmission. You are radio number 1.
Okay. Kind of bear with me because the noise, the static is really terrible up here. So I'll get right to it. So check in my general radio telephone, MC-3.
Okay, MC3. All right, I haven't checked in one of those in a while. Let me see if I've even got one in the Rolodex. It's got good audio, by the way. Oh, look at that. We have a shot of an MC3. I will go ahead and take a transmission. It's looking good and sounding good. Over.
Hey, what's up? Hello, everybody.
And hello, radio. Paul, if you can hear me, take a transmission on the general radio telephone MC3. Over.
Yeah, somebody come in there. I hope I'm not breaking in there, but I dropped out so they could talk. They wanted to say something, I guess. Back to you.
Okay, they're just I'll explain. This is the Old Tube Radio Network, Channel 11. We are talking with one of our tube collectors on an older style radio from the 1960s. After I stop talking, you will hear that radio, and if you are able to go online to oldtuberadio.net, you will see and also hear the radio as well. There's a YouTube video going on, so join us, won't you? Okay, Paul, back to you.
Okay, I hope you said back to me. Is that correct?
That is correct. It's time for the MC3. Over.
Okay. I see you have the picture up there. That's not the one I'm talking on. It looks almost the same. But during that time when they were just building these things in 1960, they changed them a lot. But it's interesting to keep up with it. Anyway, it's very nice radio. I like it. It's not that big. It's pretty good size. It's not a mobile, but it can be used for a mobile. Let's get back to you and let you tell me about it.
All right. Well, the audio is really good, nice and smooth, And the signal, I don't know if you're S8 or S7. It's not super strong, but you are well above the noise. And you are correct. That's 1960. In the early radios in the 60s, typically if they would do mobile, they were accommodate the 6-volt cars, of which there were many. No, my dad's 55 Ford was a 6-volt system. 12-volt DC and 115-volt AC. Works only on 7 tubes. 7 tubes, and it does all that audio. Back to you.
Yeah, 7 tubers. They put them in a pretty big box, I tell you. It's not cluttered in there like a lot of these radios are. But anyway, by jumping on a Crystal, believe it or not, Crystal Electro Voice checkerboard mic. It actually didn't come with the radio, but it's the twin to the one that they usually run on ceramic on it. So this is not ceramic, it's a crystal. I hope it sounds good.
It sounds really good for a crystal. Usually the crystal microphones don't have any low frequency at all. And your low frequencies are there. The high frequencies aren't distorted, and it sounds like the crystal is still in good shape. Sometimes, they were mobile radios. They get left in the dashboard up in the sunshine. That doesn't do the crystal very well at all. For those listening or watching the video, looking at the picture, the dial, there's a dial that says general. That is the receive area, and you can tune that around. What do they call it? Agile. It doesn't click in. It's a variable tuner where you can get all 23 channels and actually in between, not crystal control. The transmitter is 1, 2, 3, 4. Was it 5-channel crystal control, which it had to be from the FCC, and it looks like you could also go crystal receive as well if you wanted to by flipping a switch. It's got the tone signal. Oh, does that have the Q tone signal on it? It looks like it does.
Yeah, you bet. I hope this one has it working. I got 2 of these 3. I think one of them's not working. Let me try it real fast. Let me know if it goes. I can't see jumping on the meter, but I hope it is going on.
Yeah, it's going on while you're talking. It took a little while to warm up, and it is doing the oscillation, so the tone signal, which is a switch right below the S meter, is functioning, and it also allows your audio to be heard at the same time over.
Yeah, exactly. They had a lot of little goodies on this for such an early radio. They were really way up for 1960. If you look at it, a lot of the other radios don't have near the same stuff, all the quality stuff on it. General made a nice radio. Back to you.
I think they got it. They understood the Class D citizen radio service. The radios needed to work and get out so you could hear your base to mobile. The mobile radios, the VS series, were very simple. You didn't want to be fooling around with stuff when you were driving around. And the base stations gave you the options of not only the S meter for signal strength, but the full 23-channel receive and the tone call from 1960. OldTubeRadio.net, OldTubeRadio.com has a schematic available for the MC3. And we'll go back to you. Let me put the S meter up and be able to give yourself, when you watch the playback, you'll be able to give yourself a radio check. Back to you on the General Radio Telephone, built in California, down in beautiful downtown Burbank. Take another transmission.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to the repeat on the thing. It's always interesting. I look at it forward to it every week or so. It really helps out. Okay, I'm glad we got it in. Thanks for checking it in, Dennis.
All right, I know it's a little bit noisy, so thanks for pulling me out of the mud. You are fine, almost S9, and on the crystal microphone, the audio is really nice. Not bad for 1960. Just try and get an automobile to work like that, and that probably hasn't had too many modifications or replaced tubes. Working just fine. Our first radio at 9:01, the General Radio Telephone Master Control number 3. Thank you, and built. Thank you, Tony. Built in the USA. And we are standing by for radio number 2. I hope you all celebrated National Radio Day yesterday. Highlights of National Radio Day. The first radio signal broadcast on December 12th, 1901. Guglielmo Marconi transmitted the first radio signal across the Atlantic Ocean. 1920, November 2nd, Westinghouse Electric broadcast voter returns of the 1920 presidential election over KDKA radio. Names to remember, Lee DeForest invented the Audion vacuum tube. Thanks to Mr. DeForest for the old tube radio network. And that was back in the late 1800s, 1900s. He was born in 1873. 1906, Reginald Fessenden created the first radio broadcast of voice and music purely for entertainment. That's sort of the old tube radio network. We are purely for entertainment. Now, Reginald Fessenden beat us by a few years on that, but here we are 35 years later, and we're still purely for entertainment. Don't forget Heinrich Hertz. You know the name, Hertz. His research proved electricity could be transmitted wirelessly. And, of course, Nikola Tesla patented multiple inventions and provided radio with the Tesla coil and items of interest. So, hooray for radio. We are looking for your radio on the old tube radio network, number 2. And there's some things on TV. Football games. I don't know what's going on. It's a nice summer evening. People out at the pool having the barbecue and maybe wandering into the Tube Radio Shack and checking in, looking for Radio 2. Oh, you know what? The jingles, they're tapping on the glass saying, if I would stop talking, they could do this.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you, wherever you are. For music and the latest news from home and from afar, the station for you is
OTR, Old Tube Radio.
The station for you is
OTR.
Cornbread stayed home from work. You know, if there's one day of the year that you can sort of think, you know, I'm not going in, it's got to be National Radio Day. I agree with you. SWL 13, Mr. Cobra, hello, Mike. We will get you checked in when I find the proper check-in things here, and we'll get lucky number 13 on the list. OTR looking for radio number 2. Also, for those of you who get QST Magazine, there is a really good article about finding radio interference caused, and in this case, it caused by power lines. And when you actually read it, you realize it took the gentleman 2 years to solve the situation, and he did most of it, most of the legwork himself. And once they found out where the offending items were, then they could call in. It was XL Energy, the area there to work on. But very elaborate with the devices they were using and how to track the footprint of the noise to know which noise you're actually hearing and match the wavelengths, the footprints, watching it on the higher frequencies. Very, very interesting way to figure out where your noise is coming from. But when you realize that there's a lot of work to that, and it took them 2 years to actually get rid of it, but they got rid of it. So hope is not lost if you're getting that QRM and QRN. You can hear we've got a little bit tonight. Do I have the noise blanker on? I am looking. No, the noise blanker is not in. Let me see. Let me try something here. I don't even know where my noise blanker button is. Oh, it's way over here underneath. All right, we're going to engage the noise blanker. You know, it actually helps just a little bit. It's variable on this radio, so I'll keep it in. Sometimes I keep it out because it can, having a noise blanker, and especially on sideband, can actually distort the audio a little bit on the high frequencies. So you got a little bit goes a long way on the noise blanker. Looking for radio 2. And I just noticed, I'm looking on the APRS, it looks like 13. Mike has got a digi going on. A little beaconing repeater. If you're listening 13, I see you on the screen. The FT8 beacons. Well, that looks cool. Let me put the scope up here. That's a little loud, isn't it? And I probably don't have them tuned in quite right. But there's the FT8 beacons on 20 meters tonight. Talking to wherever. We are looking for your tube radio. Standing by.
37.
Hello, 37. Are you beaconing to OTR tonight?
Am I beaconing?
Yeah. Are you sending your beacons out to the old tube radio network?
Oh yeah, yes, most definitely. Can't you hear it?
I can hear it just great. Over to you, and if you've got a radio, you will be radio number 2.
All right. Well, two's better than none. But this is the only one I get to check in tonight, Dennis. I've got everything else taken down right now, for we're getting ready to do work in here in the kitchen, in this room, wherever this room, the living room, hallway, we're changing a lot of stuff. So anyway, I got it tore down right now, but I'm going to have this here up here for now and hopefully next weekend too. I don't know about the following, but we will find out when that time comes. But I would like to check in this radio.
All right, I'm marking you in radio number 2 at 9:19 Pacific Daylight Time, and it sounds very good, very loud, and perfect for our number 2 check-in. Go ahead.
Okay, well, you probably started writing down the name of it before I even started talking about it. But anyway, I would like to check in my general radio telephone, my Super MC11A, that's the 24-channel version of this here. And we are running this here with a handheld stock microphone. I do believe it is the original. It looks like it might go to it, for it's got black and gold into it. I don't have the center plate thing that says RGP, general well, you know what I'm talking about. GRT, general radio telephone, don't have that marker in that there, but it is on the radio here, the little man in the wheelchair with an IV hanging next to him there, but it is working. I don't see it dripping too much, so I guess it's still staying solid.
Yeah, it must be eating his Wheaties there. General radio telephone, Super MC11A. Those who remember our general radio telephone MC3, this is probably 11 or 12 years past that, from 1960. This is probably 71 or 72, I think, when this was manufactured. You can see very similar. It's got the rack handles, but they've added a lot of things. The tone call is gone, but they've put the variable receive. Everything is crystal controlled with the one channel selector. There's the extra 24th channel for the Civil Air Patrol. The distance local switches is there. They've got tone control. They put in the bullhorn, or a PA speaker, if you will, instead of the tone select. And they beefed up, now 9 tubes, 2 extra tubes, and they've got that ECL 800 and the 12AX7A. I'm not sure if I'll have to see if the MC3 had a 12AX7A on the audio, but sounding good. And still, this is not a crystal microphone. It's a dynamic or a ceramic. I don't think it's a carbon. It might be a carbon microphone, but I don't think it is. Still working good and still made in the USA, beautiful downtown Burbank. Back to you.
Absolutely. You know, one thing that always amazes me, these little handles that's on there, you can't get your fingers in them. It is, you go from the inside out, and then you can only go in so far, but you try to stick, a baby could pick this up if it was strong enough to hold it, which very unlikely for these things, boat anchored. But you know what I mean? You can't get your hands behind those handles.
Yeah, from our vantage point here, it's hard to, without a gauge, check the depth. But I'm looking. I can see that the radio case actually sticks out, and the handle sticks out. So yeah, you'd have to kind of curl your fingers around that. And some of the other models, like the business band radios, you can tell they stuck out quite a lot farther. So maybe this is just a thing. It's like the Eagle Ping. We've made the radio with handles for so long that if we took the handles off, nobody would know, nobody would think it was a general radio telephone. So even though they're sort of not functional, they have to be there so people know that it's a general radio telephone. That's my take on it.
Well, Dennis, I'm looking at, I got a tape measure here I'm putting right up to it. It's less than 3/4 of an inch. Just a little bit over a half inch behind it. Like I say, not much sticky finger room in there. And then that lip that you're talking about that sticks out there, that sticks out. Let me see if I can get a tape in there. I'll probably tell you real quick. That sticks out. Let's see, where are we at here? That's almost a half an inch. Well, yeah, let's see. It's roughly just under a half an inch. Between a half inch right in there. But yeah, there's not much room to stick your fingers in there. Like I said, you'd have to have baby fingers.
Well, fortunately, I think the radio is only about 15 pounds, so it can be picked up in various ways, and probably maybe, like you said, not that safe to use the rack handles or those handles, since you could only wrap one little finger around it. But it is setting securely on the table. It isn't going anywhere, and we're glad of that, because it is a fan favorite of the Old Tube Radio Network. Radio 2, as a general, radio telephones are the radio to beat tonight. That's the only manufacturer we've heard so far.
Okay. All right, well, Dennis, thank you for letting me check this one in, and, hey, I'm going to be sitting back and listening now.
All right, this is the sit back and listen frequency, but if you've got a radio to check in, we will be here for another half hour or so. We got plenty of room on the radio list, the Old Tube Radio Network, taking your check-ins, and the Jingle Singers have this to say about that.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, your favorite spot on the dial by far is known to you as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
the station for you is
OTR.
And 57. All right, thanks for the hit and run there, BDA 57 Brown Dog Audio. Needing to jump in and jump out, and we will do just that. But thanks for remembering the Saturday night place to be on OTR. Get well. Hey, Paul, can you hear me? Over.
Well, not very well, but we'll make a go for it. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're banging in here to net control tonight. No problem. Over. I can hear you just fine. Over.
Okay. Well, I'm glad. We're trying to make it through. I want to check in. This one, Chris has. It's a General Marine Power Mate.
All right, the Gem Marine. And let's see, the Gem Marine G Power Mate. I used to have a shot at there it is, loading up right now. Put the big picture. And this is one of those infamous, I think, as Mitch would say, second generation Panasonic chassis with the great AM plate modulation. And you can't go wrong. Give us a transmission. Over.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, they're nice-looking radios. I'll tell you what, you're exactly right. It's exactly the radio that is just like it is GTX 2300 Gemtronics. The same radio, but it's got different fronts on it. That's about it. Back to you.
Yeah, and I think it's similar inside to the Robin T123B. I think the Gem Marine actually has less lights, less bells and whistles, but inside it's basically the same. You got the transmit and receive light. It's got the S meter. I don't know why they switched the meter like that, the SRF, but it does have the CB and PA. And like I said, it's got that pretty aquamarine blue color, and it sounds great. Good signal, too. So give us a transmission. Again, over.
Okay, I'm running a static TMD 107 hand mic. It's powered mic. It seems to like it. I had a stock for about try it too, but I don't think you beat this by from the looks of the meter. Back to you.
It's good. It doesn't sound like it's flat topping or too mushy on the modulation. Checking the S meter, probably about the same signal strength as the MC3, and the audio is the equivalent. So doing a good job. Gem Marine Products. I don't know. I think they also actually did make marine-style radios as well. But when they got a chance to pick up the Panasonic chassis, they went to 11 meters. And notice the G logo. For those who can't see that, the G logo is similar to the, what do you call that? I'm not a ship guy, but the wheel, the ship, the steering wheel, it has a name, but the G is aligned like that with the little spokes on it. Over.
Okay, I got part of that. I'd be glad to get back on the iPads. I can hear you well on it. That time is kind of messed up as far as talking back and forth. I might have to time that out sometime, see if I can do it that way. It'd be kind of slow. Anyway, this thing is, I tell you, just a neat radio, real pretty blue radio. It's supposed to be that way for a Gem Marine product. I guess it's blue. But I hope it's making the trip, and thanks for checking it in, Dennis.
Sounding really good. Yeah, sometimes the delay can kind of mess things up when you're listening on the stream and trying to do other things. So you're doing good here directly over the air. Radio number 3 from Paul up in North Fork, the Gem Marine PowerMate. Photo courtesy of Chris, radio courtesy of Paul, the Panasonic second generation chassis that always does a good job. Thanks for bringing it by. Over.
Yeah, thanks for checking it in. I'm going to have to do something with static. It's really, really bad tonight. I guess it's probably the North Moors talking on the thing. But maybe if I clear up, maybe I'll check in another radio then. Thanks, Dennis.
Okay, yeah, I had a lot of static earlier. It has calmed down. I even went and put the noise blanker in, and all is well. I haven't heard a speck of DX or Skip wanting to come in. It's about that time. It's about gray line for Hawaii. So if it's going to happen, it's going to happen now. Thank you, Paul, and we are looking for radio number 4.
Break OTR.
And break OTR. Speaking of static, I hope yours is not too bad tonight. And hello, Mr. Ed. I think you've got a radio for us.
Oh, yes, I do. Actually, the static is pretty darn bad over here, but I figured check one in anyway. This time, the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB with the Golden Eagle D104.
All right, I will find the appropriate shot that actually has the Golden Eagle D104. There it is, and it also includes the Golden Eagle radio. A great package. Probably the radio, as I remember correctly, in my days of CB radio, 1972-73, when this 72 when this radio came out. This is what everyone aspired to, and it was amazing how many for what this cost. And I'm thinking way back to how many people I talked to that actually had one of these radios somewhere, or the Mark II. Or the 23S9. Browning was a popular radio, so I think people, they didn't buy a color television set, they went and bought a Browning.
Oh, there you go. Well, I only knew one person that had one back in the day, and the kids were not allowed to touch, so I didn't get to play with that one. Now I get to mess with the radio all I want to.
Exactly. Well, I think these were probably about the same price as a color television, around $700, $800. Yeah, there was only a couple people in my town that were on CB radio, and one of them actually bought, I think he had a Mark II, actually. But I remember talking to, especially in the South Bay, down in Southern California, a lot of Brownings out there. So, and you know what? There's still a lot of Brownings out there, built like a tank. They don't look like a tank, that's for sure. And there are still a lot of them around. I guess when you pay good money for something and it's built well, it's going to last.
There you go, and a couple of new tubes and a couple of little things here and there, but yep, it keeps on trucking.
And a great company as well when you read the stats on Browning Laboratories, even before 1958, and what they were, the radios they were making, and then the tooling up for the Citizen Band radio, and then the deluge, the craze, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, kind of putting Browning on the map with, I think they had well over 100 employees at one time. So it kept everybody well fed.
There you go. Well, thanks for taking my check-in, and I'll see if I can't get one more warmed up and ready for before it's over.
Okay, at 9:32 is the time of check-in, the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB. Thank you, Ed, for bringing that by.
Break OTR.
And hello, Harvey. You have a broken OTR.
Roger. Well, thank you. Okay. This is a Browning R2700A receiver, 23S9 transmitter with the chicken head control knob, channel selector, and the orange on the air light.
I found a suitable match here. 23S9. It's got the elongated, call it chicken head knob. The light isn't illuminated, so it may be orange once it brightens up, but it's definitely a reddish bulb over the top. And let me go to the ad here. What was the matching? Say it was Browning Drake. And it won't let me move it here. Let me try this. I'm looking to see... and the R2700A is the matching transceiver. It looks like at that time. Over.
Oh, yeah. This poor bird needs some help. Okay. Anyway, let's see what we got here. The microphone is a Turner 254C, let's see, ceramic test mic, unamplified, of course. And apparently, you hear me okay, so I think the microphone is fine.
Microphone is good. It's actually mellow. It's not, sometimes they can be really shrill. And what's interesting, from the way I'm hearing the ping, which is very, and you can hear that, very screechy, very kind of strange. The first thing I would think of is the microphone is picking it up like that. But obviously it may be that's the actual sound it makes, because your voice sounds great on the microphonium. Over.
Well, depending on how I hold the mic, I can make it do that.
All right, and I just swapped our picture to the 2700A. I'm going to ask you a question, because I'm not real familiar with Brownings, because I never had any of these. The receiver, there's two knobs. There's an outer ring, and this would be on the VFO, and an inner ring. Are those two separate dials, two separate knobs, or is it just when you turn one, they both go?
What you call it? I forget the phrase for it. Fine tuning, coarse tuning. You know, the outside moves it fast, the inside moves it slow.
Wow. All right. Well, that's not unlike an amateur radio receiver would do, where you have a geared down fine tuning, and then you're larger. Get yourself to the close frequency channel, and then tune it in. So that's very sophisticated, actually. It's got the S meter built in. I see below that, A, B, C, D, E. Were you able to actually put crystals, selectable crystals in the receiver?
Roger. Yes, that is true. It's got a 6-position switch, 5 crystal channels. I do have channel 11 in here. It's very hard to find. It's 4770 kilocycles, 4.770 megahertz there. So very hard to find, but this one has it. This one's not my radio. It needed some work, so I worked on it for the gentleman who's local, who will have it either tomorrow or Monday, depending on the timing of everything. And I'm not sure when he'll have it on the air. He had some roof work done, so he had to take his coax out of the radio room and out of the house, and now he has to put it back in. So he's got it back in, and it'll be on the air soon.
Good deal. Well, thanks, Harvey, for helping to keep these radios on the air locally, because that's one reason someone mentioned that they were amazed that we're here in 35 years, and that is one of the reasons why, because we have people like Harvey and other various entities that help keep with their repair work and knowledge, help keep the radios on the air so that we can enjoy them on Saturday evenings. Right now, the R2700A 23S9 combination, I was looking for a definitive year on that, and it says 61 to 62. The 23S9 transmitters were built two different styles of channel selectors. 23S9 brings all channel operation to your base station, has a standing wave indicator, a Pi network circuitry, a TVI trap spotting switch, and many other features that make it the talk of the airwaves. And indeed it is right now here on the Old Tube Radio Network.
Okay. Yeah, around 60, 61, 62. The S9 and the R2700. The R2700 was the first one, and I believe that was 59. The very first one came out, and it was used by amateur radio operators. And then, because I think, if I'm wrong, you might correct me, 11 meters was still a ham band back then, right?
What was the year? It switched over officially, I think, at the end of 1958. Over.
Roger. Okay. Then around 58, 59, something like that. The literature I have says something to the effect that with the 2700, radio operators used it as a receiver with their transmitter, and then they noticed the feedback when they keyed up. The receiver didn't completely shut off, hence the ping. But anyway, so I'm working on, I don't know if I'll get it fixed, but a super hybrid of the R2700 or R2700A, where it's an A model on the front, has the antenna tuner on the front, but the chassis is an R2700 chassis, a two-piece chassis. And so when they were switching over, they still had some of the old chassis, two-piece chassis, and they used them for the R2700A. And I've got that one that really needs a lot of work, so I don't know if I'll get that one done. In fact, it has not original caps, but what you might call original replacement caps, aerolytic caps. And I needed to replace them, although I wanted to keep them in because of the aerolytic logo, which is an eagle flying unfortunately, the opposite direction from the Browning Eagle, which flies toward the left when you face it. This one flies toward the right. I really wanted to keep those caps in there, but they were bad, so I took them out.
Yeah, got to get those bad caps out of there. Well, obviously you did. The audio is very clean. It's very clear. I don't hear any buzzing. And I'm not sure if you are engaging the Harvey range boost, but if you are, this radio plays with it seamlessly. Some of your radios in the past have been a little persnickety, a little bit having fits with it. But this one, if it's there, it's very transparent.
Yeah, I do have the range boost on. So I wanted to see if Paul and some of the other outlying stations could hear me. In fact, I could even turn it up, but no, I'll leave it. Yeah, it seems to work well with it. Yeah, this is a pretty clean radio, and it just needed a little TLC. It's done, so I'll get it back to him, and he can play with it. Okay, Dennis, I've got another one to do, and such, and we still got time. Okay, we'll back on out. Turn it over to you.
I got plenty of time. Yeah, it's really nice audio, so don't touch a thing. I said for the radios we've had the past month, this is one of the much better players on the range boost for not amplifying any problems or squealing or oscillating or whatever. It's just super seamless. Nice item. Radio 5. Yes, Radio 5 tonight, the Browning 23S9. That's the transmitter. The photo we're looking at, if you're watching the video or up at oldtuberadio.net, is the receiver, the R2700A. Very nice, very popular receiver. I think this is one of the ones that helped put Browning on the map for, oh, wow, I can really hear. And a quick story. I used to run a 11-meter, back in my early days, a Helicrafter's 11-meter, 100-milliwatt walkie-talkie, and I had it all modified up with an antenna and a transmitter and receiver section like a Browning, and it's automatically switched. But the one station that was actually able to hear me more than like 6 blocks, and I was in Manhattan Beach, he was in Hawthorne, so this is a mile and a half. And this guy used to consistently hear me when nobody else could, people who were closer, and he was running, believe it or not, I believe an R2700A. He was running a Browning station. So I can attest that these receivers are super hot, super sensitive, super selective, and well worth whatever money back in the day. Thanks, Harvey, for bringing it by. The Old Tube Radio Network, listening for radio number 6. And wondering, even with those 14 on the sunspot numbers, still very quiet. Not even the sporadic E stuff coming in. And they're still going at it on 20 meters. So we're hearing the Pacific, but the maximum usable frequency is right at 14 megs tonight.
Whiskey Hotel 7 Tango.
The Whiskey Hotel station out of Hawaii on 14244. Work on the contest. And we are working the Old Tube Radio Network here at 27085, looking for radio number 6.
Break OTR.
And the break OTR, this is indeed OTR. Go ahead, over.
Okay, another Browning here. Oh, you didn't hear it ping. This is the Browning Mobile Air transceiver. The mobile base, depending on how you ran it there, with the plug on the back there, power plug. This is running AC, and I happen to have an amplified D104 on it.
Good stuff. Wow. You know, I built by Vocaline. I thought I had a picture in the archives here, and it's coming up. It's coming up with nothing. And I think that shot that we just had earlier actually did have it on the brochure, so maybe I'll bring that up. But take a transmission. Sounds very good, but it says it's actually built for Browning by Vocaline.
That is most correct. This is a copy of the ED27. I think it's ED27E or something, ED27 something, letter or something after it. The regular ED27 was a one-channel radio. The other ED27 something was 4 channels, and the Mobile Air is a copy of that one, the 4-channel radio. Has a power-on light. Has an antenna warning light that only is supposed to go on with a bad match and not as a modulation light. So I learned that the easy way, or actually the hard way. You can adjust that so it goes on as an antenna warning light, but it draws your power. So what you're supposed to do is kind of set it so that it's not on, and then check your SWRs with a meter, and then everything's good, and then you can turn it up a little bit if you want to get it to just come on, and then, but it takes power away. Also, if your SWRs are real bad, it just comes on. So, there you go. But anyway, this is the Mobile Air, 4 channels, crystal controlled, transmit and receive, volume squelch, a big old speaker, no meter.
And sounds very good. I was trying to see if I could get an image link with that. It's the finding the image is as hard as finding the radio, it seems. So you're doing good. No S meter. I guess if it was considered a mobile, maybe they figure you wouldn't want to be trying to give somebody a meter report. And the other one I came up with was the M532, which is by Browning. So I think is this before or after the Browning Drake 532? I'm thinking this is before that.
I would have to look. I'm not sure, but it's around the same time. There's some website that shows a listing of Brownings by supposed date of manufacture. I'm not sure how accurate that is, but I would say very early 60s.
Yeah, it's a 532, and then it has another one. That's the one in there. Okay, good. I got a shot here. Here we go. Just have to go through the back door. All right, there it is. It's got the antenna light. Some screws in the front. I don't know if those come out and do anything. Volume, your channel selection. So yeah, it's a very plain radio. At least it's got that nice big front firing speaker so you can hear what's going on.
Oh yeah. Okay. The Vocaline ED27, all models. Let's see. we go. A Vocaline ED27M. There we go. It's the M model with 4 channels. And it's in Sam's PhotoFax book number 1. So that tells you something. And the first printing of book number 1 is 1961 November. So let's assume that this radio was made sometime in 60 or 61 in the Mobile Air around that time.
Sounds good. I'm going to say this predates the Browning one that's in the advertisement for the R2700A and the 23S9. So maybe that's why they went to Vocaline to at least get a mobile version out before they could figure out what to do. But it sure is, audio is nice and clear, good fidelity, and I will check your ABCD, whatever crystal you have. Next time you come back, we'll do the zero beat and see how close it is after all these years. Over.
Here, I can make it ping. I'm on channel A, and of the tube mobiles, you have the Mobile Air, the Raven, and the 2 models of the Browning Drake, the 523 and the 506. 506, 6 channels, 523, 23 channels. And from what I understand, all of them would run mobile or base. The Raven, I'm not sure if it had a separate power supply. You have to ask Paul about that. But the Browning Drake had separate power supplies, AC and DC, that plugged into the transceiver unit. You also had an external speaker that would plug into the back of the transceiver. So, kind of fun how they did that. But I believe it was just 3 tube mobiles. Might be wrong, but 3 that I know of.
Okay, thanks for that. One other question, maybe 2 questions. Front of the radio, the ANT, the antenna light. Tell me about that. Is that glowing if things are good? Illuminating if things are bad, as though it were a warning light? Maybe reflected power brings you your light on. Also, the 2 knobs say volume off and squelch off. So which one of those offs is actually turning the radio off and on? Over.
Okay, you'll love this. The volume turns the radio on off. Okay? The squelch works backwards. Okay? So when the squelch is clicked off, you have no squelch. 0 squelch, it just stays off. So you hear people and noise and all that. When you click it, it goes to full squelch, and then when you turn it clockwise, eventually the squelch goes off.
Okay, that makes sense. I would just figure that you don't want to be making a mistake on the squelch. So if you can't hear anything, go ahead and rotate that until you hear the click and you know that it is off. And it is single crystal or single channel. So when you're on A, that is both transmit and receive on A, correct?
Correct. When you're on A, it's transmit whatever receive crystal you have in there, which hopefully is the same channel.
Okay, I've got all sorts of questions. And I'm assuming below the speaker where it says Class D Citizen Radio Telephone, that item there is not a light bulb. That's some type of a screw or a rivet. It's just a different size than all the other ones. And then your antenna light. Did you tell me? Is that a warning light? So when things are bad, it might illuminate.
That is correct. I'm checking. Let's see what it says here in the book. Okay. Oh, wait. Harvey is all wrong. Oh gosh. Okay. Oh gosh, that's right. I was thinking of another radio. You'll love this. Okay. There's a switch on the back of the radio. Switch on tuning indicator lamp. Adjust A6 clockwise until bulb begins to light. It may not light very bright. Then adjust A15 for maximum brilliance. That is your power out. Then, if you're smart, you adjust you adjust it back just a hair. But anyway, that's what it is. You adjust A15 until it's okay. Adjust it clockwise until it begins to tighten. Do not tighten too much. Then you switch on the tuning indicator lamp. Okay. A16, you adjust clockwise to get the light to just brighten. Then you do A15 for maximum, and you should adjust A16 back because it does draw a little power. That's where I had that in my head. But that's for tuning the radio. It's a dummy load. Where I had that in my head. But that's for tuning the radio.
I hear you.
It's a dummy load.
You already said that. Okay, good.
Where I had that in my head.
There, all right. Harvey, you're in my radio as well. All right, so a dummy load or RF meter, it indicates the fact that there is actually something happening.
Roger. That's what it's for. It's for tuning your radio without a meter. Basically, you flip the switch and it puts the light in line. You adjust it just so you can see brightness. Then you adjust for maximum brilliance, and then flip the switch out of the circuit.
Got it. Okay. Just since you don't have any other meters, there's got to be, I guess, some way to tell that something is happening. There's power going out or leaking somewhere. Very good. We don't hear many of these. We don't see many of these from Vocaline, the Mobile Air, with the Browning logo, getting them into the mobile radio field until I guess they could figure out how they wanted to do it. But boy, the audio is nice. And did you actually get that to ping? How can you get that to ping?
Well, I just turned off the volume on the radio below.
Got it. Okay. You're cheating, as we probably all did back in the day when we wanted people to think we had a Browning radio of some sort.
Yeah, you just buy a $9.95 cheap walkie-talkie or a 23-channel expensive walkie-talkie, put it on the correct channel, and then just turn it up a little bit and feed back a little bit into it and pretend you got a Browning.
Certainly. All right. Radio number 6, the Browning, we'll call it the Mobile Air from 1960-61. Quite rare, but yours is working well. I don't know if you said that belongs to somebody and you were doing a little peek and tweak, or if that is something on the shelf that you have decided to share with us. It is playing well. If you listen to the archive or the video playback, I think you will be pleased with what you hear. Oh, by the way, the frequency was at 27,084.95, so about 100 cycles low, perhaps. Very nice.
Roger. Let's see what my freak counter says. Okay. Mine says 085. Oh, well. We're always... I've set mine to a digital frequency meter, so hopefully my frequency counter that I've got in line here is close, and it seems to be. Okay, thank you, Dennis, and I think I might do one more.
All right, very good. It is 10:04. Counting and amounting we will be, and as they say, there is always room for one more radio. The Jingle Singers doing what they do best on an evening here on Old Tube Radio kind of evening, and we'll be back in just a moment.
You're tuned to
OTR Channel 11,
right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us.
Old Tube Radio.
And be modern.
Number 7.
Speaking of being modern, there is not a more modern radio than perhaps the one you are about to key up over.
Well, modern from 1963, Tram TR27E with the Electro Voice 638 microphone.
The EV630, I see those when the stations are putting their classic Heathkit and Drake and Collins pictures. Inevitably, one of those style of EV microphoniums shows up on the radio desk. Let me go to the full page here on the Tram. This is indeed the radio which we will hear in a moment. A little bit different from the vocal line. This has got all sorts of knobs and meters and dials for your tuning pleasure.
Yes. Well, volume, noise limiter, squelch, of course, the big VFO, and your little selector switch for the channel you wish to be on, and of course, the big S meter and 5x7 speaker.
Transmitter and receiver separate, but built into a box. So, and indeed, I guess you can call this a transceiver. The big receive tune. The very infinitesimally small channel selector, but it looks like it's illuminated to keep you up to date on what channel you might want to be. Spot yourself in, and you're ready to go, which I think is how you did it, unless, of course, you're totally crystal controlling for channel 11 tonight.
Yes, the old crystal-controlled transmit, and of course, the VFO on the receive. And I'm not using the external. In fact, I've never used the external, so... just using it like it's supposed to.
And it is sounding good. Our Radio 7 tonight, the Tram TR27 Echo and SWL7 at the microphonium. Well, let's see, if we were in Vegas, is a 777 a good thing?
Well, yeah, it could be. That's for sure.
Well, it's a good thing for us tonight in the Old Tube Radio Network, our first Tram of the evening. Popcorn 913 beaconing in, giving it a full bucket of popcorn and a hand clap. Over.
Okay, well, thank you much for that, and back to OTR.
And we are counting and amounting on the Old Tube Radio Network. This is your one more frequency.
Okay. The Browning Golden Beagle R68T68 by Browning Lavatories. No flushing tonight. It's across the room and I'm too lazy to get it. Custom D104 with the medallion. back of the head of the unamped D104. And by the way, I can hear Ed just a tiny bit more clear on the R2700A than I can on this one. It's still very hard to hear him unless he cranks it up, but I went between both radios and I could hear him a little bit better on the other one, which kind of makes me think, well, they really did a good job, or I have to work on this one. Okay, we'll turn it back to you.
All right. Well, the one you're on now is working. It's very loud. Of course, it has the buzzing and humming and all the persnickety stuff. There's that word again. All the stuff from the Harvey range boost that the Mobile Air does not have.
Yeah, I know. It's the proximity of this radio to the modulator. If I lift the radio up over my head, it'd probably work fine.
All right, but it would work fine for a moment until the radio was no longer above your head, but on the floor.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know. Anyway, but I guess I don't need the range boost. I can turn it off. Alrighty. Until next week, maybe I'll have something else.
You always do. We are amenable to whatever one might have, whether it's a full complement of S meters and knobs and dials, or whether it's the what do we have? The bullet hole special, or the tuna tin can special, or maybe you're building one of those Bob Heil on a 2x4, a piece of wood with a tube and some type of external modulator. We will get it checked in on the Old Tube Radio Network. That is my job as net controller, is to work with the station and get your transmitter checked in. Radio number 8, the Browning Lavatories Golden Beagle R68 T68 sounding good.
I turned it back on just in case Paul's listening up there. I want him to hear me. Okay. Till next week.
Yeah, you might need a little extra smoke tonight. Paul is having QRM issues tonight, so that will help. And final call, last call for radios, SWL check-ins, or items of interest on persnicative. On the persnicative, thank you, Levon, on the persnicative Old Tube Radio Network. There's a little bit of buzz. The audio is pretty clean. It is just not, super quiet like the Mobile Air was.
Yeah. Okay. This is the Golden Eagle R68 T68 by Browning Laboratories. It's the one with the spot switch and RF gain control on the receiver and the spot switch on the transmitter.
All right, the Series 1 and the Series 2, where the Brownings, the Eagles have landed here tonight at the final portion of the Old Tube Radio Network. And you know what it is? You brought out Jimmy. SWL 34 is hearing all these Eagles checking in, and 34 is checking in. Boy, you're staying up late tonight, Jimmy. Here at, 10:13 Pacific Daylight Time on our Old Tube Radio Network.
that posts on Facebook?
That is probably the one in the same. And there, Jim, type out if you can, if you're still listening, there is yet another new Facebook site coming up for those who are interested in wild and wacky and exciting radio type stuff. But that would be the one.
His last name starts with an F?
You are correct, sir.
That guy, he posts real neat stuff. Alrighty. Okay. He's got neat radios too. Alrighty. The Browning Golden Eagle by R68T68 by Browning Laboratories with just an average unamped D104.
Is there anything just average about the Browning radios? I will have to bookmark the picture of Jim's Browning table. He's got one of those reinforced tables because he's got about 1.5 tons of Brownings all stacked up, and it rivals probably anything anywhere. It's called the Great. Thank you, Jim. The Great American CB Radio Comeback. And those of us in the know that, when we started this in 1985 thinking that we need to have the great CB radio comeback, why doesn't Citizen Band radio sound like it did back then? It was 20 years ago. Now it's like, why didn't it sound like it did 40 years ago? Well, it does. It still does, and it's up to you. It's up to you to make that happen. And Jim is putting up his Facebook page, The Great American CB Radio Comeback, for those of us who know that it just never left. We're just not paying attention. So there you go.
Okey-doke. Well, Bill out there in Cheyenne is selling on eBay some of the radios that he took back with him and thought he was going to use, but he's so busy he's not going to be able to use them. He might keep one Browning, but he's already sold at least one, and he may have several more still on. I haven't checked in the last day, see if they've been sold, but he's got them on there, and they all work, and they all work well. And a lot of them have redone powder-coated cases for the cases that were, all scratched up, if any were. But the radios are all working well. I mean, at least last time I talked on them at the shop, we all went through them before we took them. Okay. Take care. Catch you next week.
All right, is he putting those up through Red Monkey, or it's a different name?
He might have it listed as Red Monkey, but probably the only person out of Cheyenne, Wyoming. And I don't think he'll mind, but his eBay ID is RadioMan1334. There are a couple others that use RadioMan something else after that, but his is 1334. Anyway, that's his listing, and or his listings, and check it out. The radios are tip-top shape. I know I have one here that I wasn't going to let him leave with, so I paid the freight for it. It's the R2700 S9 radio that I use, and it's got powder-coated cases, looks great. Okay, back to you. We'll be out till next week.
All right, likewise, I will say the same thing as we're counting and amounting. The jingle singers are ready, Mr. Announcer, and everybody else. And we will get out of here and clear the frequency in just a moment on your old tube radio network.
This is the Old Tube Radio Network. Ladies and gentlemen, stand by. It's time now for the current OTR totals.
This will be the current and final Old Tube Radio totals for the 21st of August, 2021. Another fine evening of classic radios, or as Jimmy might say, the great American CB radio comeback. The sound of your citizen band radio tonight from 1960, 1962, 1972, all packed into the 21st century thanks to our tube radio operators. On the SWL side, we had 14 check-ins on page 1. Actually make that 15 because Jimmy made it in. 15 on page 1, 18 on page 2, 17 on page 3, 24 on page 4. For a total of 74, I do believe, if my math is correct. We started off with the general radio telephones, and it looks like it was going to be a GRT evening, as things were a bit slow, but the generals were picking up the slack. MC3 from Paul, radio number 1. Don't see many of the Master Control 3s from 1960, running 6 volt, 12 volts, 115 volts. Chris on the general radio telephone Super MC11A. Radio 3 was Paul on the Gem Marine G-Power Mate. Mr. Ed followed that with the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB for Radio 4. Radio 5 and Radio 6, Harvey on the Browning 23S9 with the R2700A receiver. And then a really great sounding Radio 6, the Browning Mobile Air from Vocal Line. Listen to that on the archives, on the replay. Most excellent. Radio 7 from SWL7, the Tram TR27E, the fans of Tram saying yes indeed, the Tram's on the board tonight. And then 2 more Brownings, Radio 8 and 9, the Golden Eagle the Golden Beagle R68 T68 and the Golden Eagle R68 T68. So 5 Brownings. The Eagles have landed. The general radio telephones as well, Gem Marine, Tram, and a host of others on the Old Tube Radio Network tonight. Thanks for those listening in, remembering their radios, remembering the sounds that they did, or maybe you're watching for the first time and you're thinking, oh, did I miss all this? Well, not really. You can still pick up these radios today at garage sales, thrift stores, eBay. Maybe Uncle Fred has one in the closet. And then you, too, can make the great American CB radio comeback. My name is Dennis, one of the net controllers for the Old Tube Radio Network, heard every Saturday, most Saturday evenings at 8 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. We broadcast, or we transmit live and listen in live on Saturday evenings, 27085 in the Central Valley of California, and then do the streaming thing, the video thing at oldtuberadio.net and elsewhere on your Universal Media Netweb. 73, everybody. Thanks for chiming in. Santa Monica, saying hello up in the balcony. We'll catch you next week on OTR.
Thanks, Dennis, and thanks to Bozo Control.
As they used to say, Baker Oscar, Zulu Oscar. And how is 20 meters doing? Are the FT8 guys still hanging in there? The station from Hawaii seems to be gone. Let's go down to the FT8 portion. I bet they're still there. A little bit weak. But they're beaconing in, working on their DXCC stuff. 73 from the Old Tube Radio Network. Checking for some AM guys on 75 meters. Somebody jamming on 3889. Yeah, it happens on amateur radio, right? They just do it with better quality. What's happening on 40 meters? Anything?
Idaho.
Still looking for K4H.
You got it. Have fun.
The special event station for Eddie Lamar.
Okay, anybody anywhere, Kilowatt 7 Radio India.
Contest going on this weekend. And of course,
25 minutes, Coordinated Universal Time.
That's the case. 5 hours, 25 minutes, Coordinated Universal Time.
you got to have your WWV. All right, good night, everybody, from the Old Tube Radio Network.
Universal Time.